Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and this will be the live draw for the M2 Mobile Legends World Championship. And of course, I have here with me LaFell as I am Contra. We will be presenting to you all the details necessary for our World Championship that will be happening in Singapore.
We'll be revealing all the dates as well as the format of how they're going to play. Is it a best of 3? Is it a best of 5? Is it a best of 7?
That's right. Before that, let's have a look at our teams that will be playing for the M2. We're going to be talking a whole lot more for that as we'll be looking through the format for the M2 World Championship. Starting things off in the group stage, phase 1, it'll be 2 days of play happening from the 18th January on Monday as well as Tuesday on 19th Jan, where you have players divided in towards groups where you have group A, B, C, as well as D. So how this is going to work, we have 2 days of tournament, 3 matches to be played on each group, 8 matches per day, and the first phase will proceed to the playoffs upper bracket. And tell us how important it is to be on the upper bracket in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, honestly, in any tournament, right, upper bracket is the most comfortable place where you don't have to play as much games, so you can conserve more energy, you can conserve more of your play style. You don't want to reveal too much. At the same time, you're able to see all the lower bracket fights where they might reveal a little bit too much. And over here, 6 matches a day is definitely going to be a very, very tiring day for the players, for the casting team as well. Yeah, I'm just saying, right? But
Sure
6
enough.
matches a day for 2 days is definitely going to be a big day for our viewers as well. They're going to watch all of these great teams playing. And the first place, as Contra have stated, will go to the upper bracket of the playoffs where they just have to play a few games all the way to the championship. And even if they lose, they have a second chance. And that, I think, is the most premium thing that you can have when you're in the upper bracket.
Definitely, and we will look into how the M1 actually happened, where EVOS Legends were at one point, I believe, was knocked out by RRQ Hoshi, and they came back swinging with the reverse sweep.
Oh yeah.
And that best of 7 in the grand finals itself to be able to claim top prize during the previous championship itself. Now, we're going to be looking into phase 2 of the group stage as well, where matches will be played between the ones that are not on the top seed. So this time the losers will be eliminated. As you can see a little bit of an example here, if you have group A, the second place, as well as the third place, they will be having that sort of a duke out there, and the winner will proceed to the playoff lower bracket.
Yeah, just like our first phase, it's going to be a best of 3. So whoever gets 2 points first, they will definitely win. And over here we can see for match 1 will be the second place of Group A against the third place of Group C. Second, on match 2, it will be Group A third place against Group C, second place on match 3. Group B, second place against Group D, third place. And match 4 is going to be Group B, third place against Group D, second place. And again, the losers will be eliminated where they will not be able to go to the playoffs. But again, like, even if you win on phase 2, it's still going to be very, very difficult because you're going out in the lower brackets, and then during that stage, whenever you lose, that's it. You don't have a second chance.
Yeah, and whoever's inside this bracket will be showing all their cards on deck, because even if they lose all these matches here in phase 2, they won't stand a chance to be able to pursue any further in the tournament run. So we're going to be looking at the playoffs bracket right here. So we got our upper bracket being set, and it's going to be a best of 3 to start things off between Group A versus Group C. And then you have Group B versus Group D's winners. And then moving forward, of course, you got the winners of the group. But on the grand finals, as always, it will be a best of 7.
Yeah, but the thing is, we do have to watch. Yes, it's a best of 3, but during the winners and losers finals, it will be a best of 5. Or, it's like in this situation, you definitely want the best of the best. And sometimes the best of 3, you might lose to like cheese strats and everything like that. So a best of 5 really eliminates that kind of situation where it's like, okay, you caught me by surprise on game 1, but I have other games to catch back up. In a best of 3. There is a possibility you get cheese twice, so
perhaps so.
Yeah, so definitely the winners and losers finals, those are the games that I personally want to watch, because I think in that stage we'll definitely see the full potential of the team before finding our best 2 to fight in the grand finals best of 7.
Yeah, and I definitely think that this sort of a bracket system is going to be working really well for even teams that are appearing for the very first time in the M2, in the global stages here. And if you do remember a team that hailed from Japan, 1 Seconds Gaming Plus, who are now known as 1 Second Gaming
from Indonesia, Brand Sports from Philippines, Toda from Malaysia, and Burmese Gold from Myanmar. So right now, you gotta, all right, so it's all yours, man.
Got one in the bag. All right, so gonna crack this one open. And our first team for today, Burmese Golds.
All right. So right now, Burmese Gold is the champion for MPL Myanmar, where they have won all seasons, not all, the last 3 seasons of MPL without any losses. And during MPLI, they performed super well, where they almost made it to the finals. But either way, this is the first team that's going into Group A, Burmese Golds.
That's right, and Burmese Golds, one of the powerhouse that has been able to get such a magnificent result back in M1. They're hoping that this time around it's going to be different, that they will be the ones sitting in the grand final place. But there's still a lot more teams that will be drawn in towards each one of these lots, and Burmese Golds definitely is a name that has been around since the start of Mobile Legends.
If I remember correctly, I think they were even third place in M1. So they were really strong, and so far they haven't made any roster changes. So definitely we can see that Burmese Gold will be very consistent. It's just that we kind of have to see who they're going to go up against, because on the second pool, we do have a very tough team, which is Alter Ego. So while Contra is digging up Pool 2, I'm just going to remind you guys in Pool 2. All right, never mind, we're going to go Pool 1 first, but I'm going to talk about Pool 2 just a little bit, where we have Team Resurgence, EVOS from Singapore, Alter Ego from Indonesia, and Omega from Philippines. So we will definitely have to see that first. But right now, again, the second team from Pool 1 will be going to Group B.
And inside of Group B, we have...
I can't even see from here. I don't know what's going on.
From the Malaysian side, Toda.
All right, so Malaysia representative will be going up in Group B. Now we're just wondering who else will be in Group B. Right now, there's only 2 more teams in Pool 1, which is Brand Esports as well as RRQ, which is going to be in either Group C or D, which I think many people, as of right now, would want to avoid either Group C or D.
Well, there's nothing that's being rigged here for sure, but now that there's only Brand Esports as well as RRQ, I'm hoping to put RRQ Hoshi into its Group B so that I can officially call it the Group of Death.
All right, so yeah, so we're gonna proceed forward. Where I think all the teams will be looking at Group C and D, because right now both of those groups look very strong with either Brand or RRQ. And if I don't want to jinx it, but all right, Contra.
All right, it's time to find out then. And it seems to be the champion from the Philippines,
Okay.
Brand Esports.
Looks like Brand Esports will be going up into Group C, the champions of Philippines, where the Philippines, their MPL, they are very, very accustomed to best of fives, best of sevens. So definitely Brand Esports, I would say, has the largest amount of stamina in this group right now. And right now, Group C is not looking very easy, but we already know. We already know who's gonna be up in Group D.
Exactly, and I really, really didn't. I didn't really thought that I would be able to pull this off, and I just really want to do it for the sake of, like, you know, hoping to put RQ Hoshi in towards the group of them.
Sure.
I guess I just got to do the honors right here. So, as you all might have known, the final team will be the champions of Indonesia, RQ Hoshi.
Yeah, RRQ has been looking very strong. However, during MPLI, they lost to Alter Ego 2-0. And right now, RRQ Hoshi, even though they're at the top of the table in their own MPL, but going up to M2, a lot of, I would say, meta changes is going to happen. So we do have to see how does this affect our Indonesian champions. And right now, Contra, I think it's official that Group C and D are looking very, very tough. But we have to look at pool number 2. Over here, we can see again, Alter Ego from Indonesia, Omega Esports from the Philippines, Resurgence as well as EVOS SG from Singapore. Whichever group Alter Ego goes in, if Alter Ego goes in Group C, no one wants to be in Group C.
I agree with you with that, because there's no possibility that Alter Ego will be placed inside of Group D.
No.
So this is where things get a little bit iffy for all the teams that are hoping to be meeting with somebody else other than, you know, Alter Ego or even the likes of RQ.
I'm just saying, whichever group Alter Ego goes,
It's time for us to roll it once again. Okay, don't hate me for this. All right, so here we go. All right,
I swear, Contra, please.
All right, so in Group B, we will have Omega Esports.
This is still not easy for Group B because Omega Esports is the runner-up in MPL Philippines, where they played against Brand Esports, even though they lost, but they showed very, very spectacular performances in the Philippines. Even though MPLI, they didn't do too well, they lost 2-0, but the same thing happened to Todak as well. So right now, Group B also looks fairly okay. I'm just happy Alter Ego is not in there.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is going to be really interesting, because there actually could have been only one possibility.
Yes! There's only one.
There's only one possibility that the team that
Did I just jinx it?
Well, I don't think you did jinx it, but it's just the nature of the draw. But we're still gonna be looking at how things are gonna go. So
you know, Contra, you might not know this, right?
Yeah.
But I've been known in the Mobile Legends community where whenever I make a prediction, bad things happen. This is one of those times my prediction might have been correct.
all right, so this is where things get even more interesting.
I saw it a bit, but go ahead.
All right, so for all of you viewers out there, this will be from the home nation of Singapore as well for our M2 World Championship, and it will be EVOS Singapore.
Yeah, however, I feel like I don't know, I'm not too sure, but I think Alter Ego will have to go to a different group just because they cannot exist in the same group as RQs. I'm not so sure whether they're going to be swapping places with EVOS SG. We'll just have to see. But right now, as you guys see it, EVOS SG is in Group C.
Well, there's also a possibility, if I'm not mistaken, that it will be pushed towards the next group itself.
So Group A.
It might just be it. So we really got to find out from our production crew on how this one's gonna go, as our very final team inside of this poll will be none other than the ones from the Indonesian side, Alter Ego Esports.
You know, you pulled off the Indonesian team last twice.
Well, I know this is just something that is very, very unlikely, And it was supposed to be a group of death, like if both of them were slot inside of Group D. So now that we have Alter Ego Esports, Alter Ego Esports will not be placed inside of Group D. They'll be placed in a different group. So we'll find out which group will they be placed at.
Yeah, I would say either A or C. We definitely have to check it out a little bit later. But there you go. All of the second pool has been drawn, where the first pool is RSG in Group A, and then Omega from Philippines will be in Group B. And as of right now, EVOS is in Group C and Alter Ego is in Group D. But because we have two Indonesians in the same group, we will definitely turn it around a little bit, right? And the thing is, right now, Contra, if you were in the third pool, as of right now, as we see on screen, which group do you think you prefer to be in?
If I were to be in any group right now, I would fancy my chances either on Group B or even from the actually it's really tough. If you ask me, everyone's champion on their own rights, runner-ups, as well as they've won multiple tournaments from the past. So it's really hard to tell because Todak has been on a very consistent form back in their MPL where
Not losing a single
they
series.
didn't drop a single game, like you said. And same goes towards the side of Alter Ego, which now getting drawn. They have not lost a single game in the MPL, not even a single.
M2 Live Draw. My name is Rafael and this is Contra. Again, thank you for everyone's patience and sorry for the long delay. It just happens because, well, many people from overseas, they might not know, but my name is Rafael. I'm an MPL Malaysia caster, and whenever I'm on, we always have issues. But either way, right now we already done the first poll as well as the second poll, Contra. Now the thing is, I have read the comments, and the comments they were worried. It was like, wait. RNQ and Alter Ego, they were supposed to be in the same pool.
Exactly.
But why did they change?
So the reason is this, where the whole format where you can only have one home nation in one respective group. It means that if you're a Malaysia team, you cannot be placed with any Malaysian team. Any Myanmar teams could not be played with other Myanmar teams, Philippines, and the list goes on. So when this happens, so RRQ cannot meet with Alter Ego Esports based on the rule set by the M2 organizers out there that has been able to plot it out. So we are definitely bound to see that there's going to be also big chances for the nations out there that have more than one representative to be able to actually get really far into the competition. Now, if we look at it, we got 2 teams from Singapore, 2 teams from the Philippines, 2 teams from Indonesia, and also Singapore as the home nations out there. So with that being said, we'll be carrying out a little bit of the sort of the pool draw as we will continue where we left off in towards pool 3. But before that, of course, we gotta do a little bit of explanation where early on we saw a little bit of the mix-up here.
Yes.
So the only logical way for that to happen is that the previous group will be Alter Ego's group if that's going to be the case. So it's just going to be a switch between Alter Ego as well as EVOS SG. Now, let's have a talk here because this looked as if it was going to be the El Clasico inside Group D, but it's going to be a different sort of team representing EVOS, which is EVOS SG as compared to EVOS Legends.
Yep, and just in my personal opinion, I think this is the better way to do the format, right? So while Aaron is gonna be drawing up one team from Pool 3, again, just in my personal opinion, like we've seen Indonesian teams fighting against each other, we've seen Philippine teams fighting against each other, right? It will be the same thing. If suddenly Omega is in Group C, then Omega will be moved to Group D or elsewhere. But right now, Aaron has chosen one very, very nice spherical name of that,
and from the first team inside of Pool 3, we will have this vote.
Yep, we can see the representatives from Russia will be going into Group A, where they will be fighting against Burmese Ghouls as well as Resurgence. Over here we can see this vote from Russia.
That's right, and they are definitely going to be the dark horses of the tournament, as we have already seen them really having a very good chance here. And now we're going to be looking at them being placed inside of Group A. Now, this group is rather interesting. There's a lot of great tactical maneuvers that will be brought up from RSG, aggression coming in from the side of Purple School, and from the likes of it, the Russian team that we do have from Louisville is also one that is relatively aggressive. So this is going to be Group A being concluded, and we'll be moving forward for our next group.
Yeah, I still remember during the days of M1 where people were like, if you're going up against the Russian team, you guys have to ban out the Natalia. At that time, Natalia wasn't, like, she was playable, but she wasn't like, all right, you always have to first pick, you always have to ban. And specifically against the Russian team, they're like, you know what, you gotta ban out the Natalia. But right now, we can see Aaron has got the other team that will be placed in Group B.
Now, inside of Group B, we will have Impunity Esports.
Impunity from Cambodia. Impunity Esports will be going up into Group B with Team Todak as well as Team Omega Esports from the Philippines. So right now, the Group B stage is, I would say again, one of the more safer groups. However, I myself have to admit, I do not know much about Impunity for this year Contra because I have not seen any of the games.
Well, Impunity has been a powerhouse, and they are an esports organization initially founded in Singapore, as they have already established a lot more teams around Southeast Asia. But Impunity, they have been showing a lot,
as well as 10-Second Gaming Frost. And I don't think either of those teams will want to be put into Group C, but
I think these teams here, they don't want to meet 1-Second Gaming Frost.
Yeah, so if 10-Second Gaming Frost goes into Group C, then Group C is the group to watch.
Oh boy, I can't wait. Oh, what's it gonna be? And looks like we have our team from Japan.
Oh,
10-Second Gaming Frost.
I just want to say I called it. I've called the Group C. I said that Group C is gonna be the group of death. I usually get predictions wrong, so I'm gonna pat myself on the back for this one. But yeah, 10-Second Gaming Frost inside the death group, the group of death, Group C, alongside with Brand Esports, the champions of MPL Philippines, and Alter Ego, the champions of Mobile Legends Professional League International.
That's right, and now this leaves us with only one team remaining. And well, you guys can make your guesses.
Sure.
If you guys haven't already guessed
Let me predict DreamHack.
That's right, from Brazil, it's DreamHack.
Yep, DreamHack has been looking pretty strong. However, going up against RQ as well as EVO Singapore, with both of these teams being super aggressive in the early game, is definitely going to be very difficult for DreamHack to match against them, because their team, even if they have a more early to mid-game centric draft, they do seem to prefer playing a little bit closer to the late game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there might just be a Cinderella story run that might just happen between all of these group stages here, but oh boy, what have I done here for Group C? I mean, it really feels...
A, we have Burmese Ghoul, Resurgence, as well as Unique Devil. Right, there's a bit of a name change over there. We have Ace, D, maybe KD, Ruby DD, as well as Meow from Burmese Ghoul. And on the RG side,
well, we got KZP, Jason Federer as there. He is a coach as well, so it's really interesting to see that he will be playing in the M2 World Championship alongside with Sync, Zana, LY4, as well as Fossa. So interesting names here. Of course, you got to point out it's going to be LY4 as their main marksman. Will be able to multi-roll in instances where Jason also will be one of the backbones, with KZP leading the charge as their main tank as well as support. Now, moving in towards Unique Devu, we got interesting names here with Lil, Savo, One Shot, Sunset Lover, Defender, as well as War Barbie.
I'm not gonna lie, I like War Barbie.
Yeah.
I like. Okay, War.
This is such an interesting Euro teams for Group B, and do the honors.
Yep, over here we can see for Team Toda, a lot of people have been asking, and this is your lineup. Chiku, E1, Moon, X-Ray, Stu, as well as Formace, where this is the original lineup that won them the MPL MYSG with no series loss. And moving forward on Omega Esports, we have Toshi, Hajizi, Heat, Kenji, Kurt Z, Yelly Hayes, and Odin.
That's right, and for Impunity Khmer Esports, it's going to be Zero Baby, OP, Boom, Rookie, Hakurai, Naker, as well as Faker Gaming Room. So very, very interesting names that we have here, and of course, very strong opposition that will be coming along the way for each respective teams. So let's talk about the playstyle for Todak before we move into their appearance coming in towards the M1. And now that they're going in towards M2, Opuyan is still the familiar name, the captain of 10 Seconds Gaming that has been there since the get-go alongside with Papa. So these are going to be your trusty players that will be appearing. But as for the side of Brent Esports, what can you tell us about Brent Esports as of the current?
Brent Esports, one of the most dangerous players is actually Rebo, especially when he gets his hand on the Pharsa. His feather airstrike is always on point. His positioning is super good. It's very, very difficult to catch him out of position. And this is where my 10-second gaming Frost study is coming in. So, looking at the players, Sevnia, who is the tank, is not originally from 10-second gaming Frost. It was actually from their opponent's AZB. So
you gotta keep your eyes on Charlie Boy as well as Udil. Two of these names are definitely the front runners for the side of Alter Ego. But in Group D, this is where things get a lot more interesting. Looks as if it's going to be the El Clasico, or it could definitely be even more hype up than that, as we start off with RQ Hoshi with Vin, Lemon, Albert, Sin, R7, Wiz King, as well as Psycho. So some of these names need no introduction, but we haven't really seen too much coming in from the likes of Psycho and Wiz King. Kind of have this really tough hill to climb against R7, who's always in this really good hot form.
Yep, and moving on, we have EVOS SG's lineup with Pokemon Soul, Aeon, JBL Potato, and Matthew, which, wow, I'm guessing it's not gonna play. Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
Well, I really want to see if Matthew's going to be facing against RQ Hoshi, though. If he managed to win, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a big celebration on the
You see, the thing is, EVOS SG, they are their management team is very hands-on, right? Before this toxic CEO was in, he was the owner of...
Like, chances are, I think Alter Ego, very hot favorites here.
Either ways, I'm very, very excited for M2, guys. Don't forget about 18th and 19th January, where we'll be seeing all of these teams playing 6 games a day. All of them are best of 3. All of those games are gonna be very, very hype. This is Contra. My name is Lafel. You guys will be seeing us on M2. So, until next time, I guess this is the end of the show.
That's right, and we'll see you guys in Singapore.